Good evening, Meenakshi. Thank you for joining in today's interview. How are you doing today?
Good evening, sir. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing good as well. Thank you for asking. So, Meenakshi, before we proceed, can you give a brief introduction about yourself?
Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself. So, my name is Meenakshi Sharma. I am from Assam. Like, I was born and raised in Assam, and I got married and I shifted here in Hyderabad. And I have approx 1 year of experience from Quadrant Resources Organization. And initially, like, I joined as a web data analyst. Meanwhile, there was a requirement for manual tester, and I had some skills on that. So, I applied and I got selected for manual testing. So, I worked for like 7 months approx for manual testing, and my roles and my project was like UHRS. I worked for UHRS tool, and we just fine tuned the queries asked like searched by the users, and based on that, like, we had some landing pages. So we have to just check the credibility of the pages. Suppose for example, if I am searching for like capital of Delhi, and if I am getting the exact informations on that page, that means I had to mark that page as the excellent or good or perfect based on the credibility. And so that was my project, and my tool was UHRS, and I worked for Bing search engine optimization. And my roles and responsibilities for this project were like I was active in all the meetings and all, and I was working for both functional and manual testing. And so that's all about.
That's great. So, you mentioned that you worked there for 7 months as a tester, right?
Yes, sir.
So, why did you leave the job?
Actually, I had some personal issues.
Mhm.
So at home, that's why just I left the job for that reason. And I was interested in manual testing as well. So meanwhile, I just pursued a course, manual testing
Mhm.
course from Downtown Coders. And
Mhm.
now, like, after getting some more skills on that field, so I'm ready for a job right now. And that problem is also sorted as well.
That's awesome. Good to know that problem is sorted. So I hope in future there won't be any other problem. So if you get selected today in today's session, today's interview, and in future if any problem arise, will you be switching or stopping your career or stopping your
No,
job?
sir. No, sir.
Okay.
Definitely, I'll be continuing as my family is also supportive in this
Hmm.
field.
Hmm.
So definitely, I'll be continuing my job.
Right. Why did you decide to apply to this role?
Manual testing, you mean?
Yeah.
Uh, I believe that this role is a process oriented, and
Hmm.
like here we have to find bugs, and we are working from like preparing from the test scenarios, test plans. And also I love doing this part, and I was interested in this field. That's why I thought of choosing this as my career further.
That's awesome. So, as you were mentioning that you like doing it, so what did you like most about the entire profile that you are building right now for you?
Uh, Yes, sir. Like, this is a kind of analyzing profile. We
Hmm.
have to analyze, so we have to keen about the mistakes which we are making. So we have to prepare documentations. We have to read. The more we read the documentation, the more we'll get to know what
Hmm.
mistake is there. We'll try to understand the scenarios, preparing the test plan. So it's more into writing field, and also like basically we have to be very serious with the communication skill as well, dealing with the meeting scrum and all. So I just liked all the like parts which is indulged in this profile.
That's awesome. So, can you highlight 3 points that you want to bring to my notice, which will make this hiring easier for me,
3 points for.
for yourself?
Okay, so like with reference to my work potential and qualifications, like I strongly think that I am suitable for this position, as I am a hard worker and can go those extra miles to reach this requirement, and I am like I can satisfy the requirements, and I'm a learner as well. So I have an attitude of learning new things. So whatever new arena I get to learn, so I learn that and I try to implement in my new project or new profile, like whatever opportunity I get to implement the new things.
That's great. So you mentioned that you are a hard worker and you like to learn new things, right? So what makes you different from the others? There might be hundreds that are waiting outside. What makes you different?
sir. Like whatever opportunity I get, like in my office after completing 1 month after joining, so we have different market-based projects like UK, Australia. So initially I was like working for Australia market. So based on my performance and I was keen in learning new things, I was very active with interaction with my team lead. So based on that, I was shifted to another market-based project. So that is the Great Britain. So I feel like, yeah, if I have the capability to learn new things and I am interested in going further, learning more and interacting with my seniors, so that might help me in growing in growth.
That's true. So you mentioned that you were working in a project. So were you an individual contributor or you were working in a group?
I was working in a groups.
Right. So we tend to see that when we work in a group, there are different opinions, right?
Yes.
Because there are so many different mindsets. So at that time, we might have some arguments with some of our colleagues. So if such kind of scenario happens in your project, how you are going to handle that situation?
Yes, sir. Definitely, if you're working in a group, so it might happen. Like such scenarios might create. So I believe in communication because keeping those things aside. So whatever arguments we're facing or whatever issues with the project, so I'll be just communicating with my like lead or with whom I am facing the problem. I'll communicate and try to sort it out. So it should not get impacted. The work or the project should not get impacted. I will just keep that in mind. And apart from that, after solving the problem, and then again, we can continue working in a healthy way.
That's great. What is your greatest achievement till date?
Sir, recent achievement I can say, like in academics I was good in school, and
Mhm.
in sports also I was like I played badminton and table tennis, so I got appreciation for that as well. But recent one, like I come from a small village and I shifted here in Hyderabad. So the first day of my working, and there was no cab facility, and I had to go alone. So with different modes of transportation like auto, train, metro, and bus, everything. So initially I was scared, but I took that as an opportunity, like as a challenge. I went alone and came back alone. That day, like I patted my shoulder, like yes, you can do it. So that was my achievement, I believe.
That's awesome. Great. Uh, if you want to highlight any weakness that you have.
Yes, sir. It might sound silly, but yes, I have a habit of biting nails. So I think this is not a good habit. I'm trying to overcome it, so which might impact my health as well.
True. Uh, right. So suppose if you could start your career over again, what would you do differently this time?
The mistakes which I did earlier, so I will try to focus more on those to improve those mistakes wherever I was lacking, and try to just cultivate new skills, try to learn new things again, which will be helpful in
Mhm.
my career as well.
That's awesome. So how will you define success, if I have to ask you?
Sir, it differs from person to person's perception. For
Mhm.
me, success is like now I am in such a stage of like I have a big dream of getting into an industry. So if I like get a better company with,
Mhm.
so definitely that will be success for me. So a girl coming from a small village and they started working in an MNC. For me, this might be a success.
Absolutely, it will be. Great. So where do you see yourself in the 5 years of time?
So in the next 5 years, just I see myself as a QA lead or a QA manager with different opportunities as.
And what are the qualities of a QA manager do you think you possess?
First of all, like communication skill is important
Mhm.
because he need to coordinate with the team. He or she like needs to coordinate with the team, and there should be a good rapport of the manager, like giving proper trainings or helping handle like whatever issues we are facing directly. We should be like free to go and approach him and ask him all the issues. So communications and good reputations among the teammates, which I believe.
Did you have ever have an experience of a bad manager or bad management?
Actually, my team lead was little strict. So when I was shifted from AU market to GB market, so my
Mhm.
team lead, I already heard about him, like he's very strict. After like coming into his team, I was literally initially very strict, like scared of him. But later I got to know that like that strictness was better for our learning. So the work was like we are completing the work on time and everything was perfect. He was very disciplined. So later I realized no, his strictness was one of the reason for our learning, and we were like disciplined.
That's awesome. Good to know about you, Meenakshi. So I'm done with the HR round and we'll start with the technical round now. Okay, if you want to have a glass of water in between, you can have.
Okay, sir. Sure. Thank you.